You're sitting on the balcony of Buckingham Palace right now.
Yeah.
Does it ever get normal?
Well, that is a fake palace,
Oh.
Buckingham Palace.
This
So
was
you
on
always
the,
knew.
This was on the lot, and you see all the bit behind. That was all green screen, and there was a load of very bored-looking crew looking up at us, as we were trying to imagine adoring crowds waving flags.
Because when I used to watch The Crown, before I was in it, I always wondered how on earth they got permission to go to Buckingham Palace, the exterior.
Have you not been in films before?
Well, that's it. That's good. That's a good feedback.
Yeah,
It looks real.
yeah.
It does, yeah.
How are your waves, by the way? Because I don't think I'd wave normally again after I'd learned.
Phil doesn't wave a lot.
I never quite worked out what Charles does. He sort of does that sort of thing. It's almost like that.
I saluted a fair bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because I absolutely love the royals and I've got some good memories. I met the Queen. I went and lined up and saw her coffin. 12 hours, feet never recovered.
Did you? Well done.
I went and saw the Charles be crowned I was there in that crowd. That wasn't a fake crowd. So
In the rain?
Yeah.
Well done.
Oh, it was a lot. It was wet.
Did he come over to you
Hello, Luce.
the night before?
Yeah. I just think. Have you got fond memories of the royals when you were growing up? And have you did you like them? Were you interested in them?
Well, I was 6 when the coronation happened, and my mother and father bought a television for that. Our first television. There was only another one in the street, I think, in North Wales, and my mother put the blackout curtains up, which she had from the war. And it was a tiny screen, and it was 3 days after my 6th birthday, and one of the presents I'd been given was a toy cannon that fired matchsticks. And I remember lying on my stomach, watching the telly, and as the coach went past, I was firing the cannon.
You've been a Republican
Ever
even
since.
from being 6.
Yeah.
That's so cool that's a memory of yours.
Yeah, vivid memory. Yeah.
My mum was similar, but she had the FA Cup final on for the first time on TV rather than invited everyone around to watch the FA Cup final.
Yeah.
I always think it's a shame that we don't have moments like that really now, but I guess we all kind of get together for moments, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think that's partly what the royals are for. It's because those are the only moments. You remember the street party of the Golden Jubilee and stuff. I mean, I suppose they. We still do them, and it's mainly centred around the royals.
It's mainly, well, in our house, it's mainly around Strictly. That's when we gather for family viewing.
Fan of it? Big fan?
Of Strictly?
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely love it. Best thing on television
Apart
after
from
The Crown. And Slow Horses.
And Bake Off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a Bake Off fan?
Yeah.
Are you any good at...
I think it's the best television ever made. It's just amazing.
Have you
Because
been
no
on-
one can do it. No, I mean, the Americans try it, they can't do it.
So us
Have you
Brits
been
are
on
good.
Celebrity Bake Off?
No, I can't bake. That's the other reason I watch it, trying to learn.
So if Strictly called you, are you up for it?
Of course it
Sadly,
is.
in my head, I'm up for it, but my knees are not up for it anymore. Yeah.
You could be the comedy element.
You can.
Well, I mean, you're too big now to do reality TV, you two. You wouldn't do anything, Dominic? You're
I've been dying to be on Strictly. I did a whole dance routine in a film I did with Imelda called Pride, and I was hoping as everyone was saying, "Ooh, you'll be on Strictly." Not a tinkle from the telephone.
I wouldn't qualify because of my years in musical theatre.
Yes, he's a professional.
I'm trained.
because you'll win
You know
it.
what I mean?
You won't give anyone else. You wouldn't have a chance.
Nah. Well, I might have better knees. Actually, I don't.
Well, I'll put a good word in for you, and maybe next year we can see you in some
My knees
spandex.
gone.
Yeah.
My knees gone.
I've just been speaking to Bertie. He said he wants to play you, Dominic, in a film playing Prince Charles. A bit of a Black Mirror type weird thing.
God, I'd
Who
love
did you
to
talk
see
to?
That.
I spoke to Bertie.
Bertie, Carvel, Tony Blair.
Yeah, I know. I know who he is. I was there that day.
I mean, that's
He was
How
cool.
away.
amazing. Yeah, well, he's played Trump. I suppose I'm, next.
I mean, he's played so many different characters, as have you, both of you. Has learning lines and things got kind of evolved? Has technology evolved? Have your skills changed? How do you learn things these days? Do you use technology at all? Is it always the same thing you've always done?
Well, I just learning them anyway is a major feat at my age. No, I don't use anything different. There's a huge difference between the theatre and television in that you're doing small bits of dialogue, and I mostly learn them while I'm doing them or during the camera rehearsal, especially if they're conversations.
Well, Melda told me that she didn't want Jim being involved in helping her learn her lines at home. So I was wondering if anyone else helps you, or do you use?
No, I can't stand being corrected by my wife, so.
I'm desperate for. I'm trying to learn a play at the moment, and it's true. With telly, you can short-term memory is pretty good, but as technology gets better, my brain gets older and worse. But trying to do a play is a very different story, and trying to get someone at home to help me is really hard. No one
Just talking to the mirror.
So boring.
And you obviously were the son on this. Was he good? Was he a good boy? Was he a good son? Did he behave himself?
Well, it's I don't know about that, but
Horrible.
the relationship between Philip and Charles, which you see played out in The Crown, was a very tricky one, and so what you see in this upcoming episodes of The Crown is Philip in some ways making good his behaviour to Charles through William. So he becomes a better grandfather to William than he ever was a father to Charles in The Crown. We don't know if that's true or not.
Well, I spoke to Dominic last year at the premiere, and I said to you, what would you do if Prince Charles were watching at home? What was your advice? And you said, turn it up. Is what you told me. Has that advice changed at all now? Now he's king?
Well, I would never. One would hesitate to give anyone of his seniority any advice. But I think it's highly unlikely he's watching this particular part of his life. But it would be, I'm a big fan of his. So I like you. I've sort of grown really fond of him. Certainly doing this. The more I find out about him, the more I like about him, actually.
That's so good. You were brilliant, both of you. Thank you very much indeed. And I'm just well gelled. This looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah. Good.
I want to be here all day with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.